Kinfolk can fit oak. Let me see what they talking about. Let me see what they talking about. Pull up a chair. Come over here to the round table where we break it all down. Say why. We about to break bread right now. So y'all can see when y'all come in. Please tap that screen, share the live for my family on TikTok, for my family on YouTube. Make sure y'all come in, hit that like button, drop a comment, say what's up, cause y'all know this my way of saying what's up to y'all. Let me get a few orders of business out the way. Cause you know family is business. And the love we show each other, that's the love, you feel me? That's the law around these parts. Give me a few seconds, get a few more folk up in here. Let them come on in. If you ain't already following me, make sure you send me a follow. I will follow you back. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Like I said, drop a comment, say what's up. Cause this my way of saying what's up to y'all. As y'all can see, we talking about living life, you feel me? For a lot of us, we think we be living, but you know, there's always, just like we have been taught, there's always more we can do. Well, there's always more life that you can be living out here, you feel me? So that's what we gonna be bringing to you. Make sure you share the live. Recognize again that this live was brought to you by people who saw fit to invest in themselves, so therefore they invested in the platform that is investing in them. So without further ado, I want to announce two people that have been major supporters of the platform to the point we family. You know, it's the like-minded understanding and pushing towards the same goals that, you know, make somebody family to me. You feel me? I want to start by, you know, calling the queen by the name that my heart has developed affectionately for her. Her name is Miss Right on Q, and of course, Queen Wonderful, formerly known as Wonderful Wheat Bread. And Miss Right on Q know exactly who she is, you feel me? Queen, I appreciate you for all the cash ups, messages of support, appreciation. Appreciate y'all presence in my life in general, because as we see, it's more to it than just, you know, what we think of each other, you know, to begin with. As we spend more time around each other, things are being revealed. Shout out to you, Dream Baby. Good to see you. What's up, Real C? Good to see you, too. Appreciate y'all. Can y'all tap that screen, share the live? If you already are, I appreciate that vibe. Appreciate it. Again, we talking about living life on the edge, you hear me? Living life on the edge. And truth be told, living life on the edge for a lot of us, as we begin to grow, is really us finding that true freedom to be ourselves. The true freedom to be ourselves. Don't forget now, I'm taking you straight to the plug. I ain't trying to middleman none of your come up, you feel me? We gonna get this together. So with that being said, the middleman would have been if I didn't tell you straight up and down that you aren't truly living life. You feel me? You ain't truly living life. You've been holding back, been feeling like, well, you know, when I get this, you know, then I start doing. Peace to you, Queen. Then I start doing. You feel me? Stop holding yourself up. For every moment you go by, it's a moment wasted. That's a moment wasted that you could have been taking doing what you know is in your heart and is the desires for you to serve your purpose. I don't know about y'all, but I bring my atmosphere with me. I bring my atmosphere with me. I know where they said we was gonna go, but hey, I know what I gotta do before I go. I gotta get my attitude together. I gotta segment my intentions, meaning I gotta intentionalize where I'm going, why I'm going there. You feel me? Why am I going there? Peace to you. Brother Sanchez in the building. Appreciate y'all, man. Please share the live for me, family. I gotta intentionalize why I'm going there. You feel me? What did I just come out of so I can make sure my mind is right and prepared for this situation? You feel me? Prepared for this situation that I'm going into. I can't just go into it blindly. Okay, let me see what they talking about when I get there. Nah, it's time out for that. We done seen that go bad too many times. Too many times. What? You at the wrong place at the wrong time. You feel me? With the wrong folk, obviously. Never forget, we truly are a product of our environments. So if you create an environment within yourself that brings the atmosphere of fear, that brings the atmosphere of indecisiveness, there's going to continue to be things in your life to lead to you not knowing what to do. Shout out to you, Cole. Good to see you, Quinn. It's going to lead to you not knowing what to do. And the more you become indecisive, the less likely you will be to make a revolution within your life, meaning to make the necessary changes from the way things have been to the way things need to be in your life. And all of this comes from you understanding that, yes, you are a product of your environment. You feel me? You are. And all these apparent or things that appear as solids are nothing but slow light waves. So when you begin to understand the ways of creation, the ways of matter, then all of this stuff makes sense to you. We rarely even we don't touch anything. Let me get that right. We don't touch anything. It's just a repulsion of our frequencies off of things that makes us feel like we came in contact with certain things. Take time to unpack that. You know what I'm talking about? It's all there. It's all there. You feel me? We talking to the plug. Come on, it's all there. We ain't coming here to play. We ain't coming here to play. We kind of get that and get on up out the way. You feel me? Now the setup that we got to reverse the curse on is every time you think, it leaves your head as a light wave. So be careful the things that you allow to be your thoughts, because it will become your reality. It will become your reality. And therefore you become a casualty of your own reality created by your faculty, meaning your mind. Fear not. For those who seem like, they always against you, seem like you can't never get a point across to these people. Fear not. Shout out to you, Miss Harris. Fear not, because these are the same people that will eventually become your biggest fans. Become your biggest fans. Because truth be told, they seeking to understand. They seeking a understanding of what your purpose is in their life. I know for me, when I was in school, or whenever somebody was talking something that seemed like it was supposed to be so important that I got to listen to you, I'm like, make it make sense. So for some people in our life, they might seem like they hating on you. They might seem like they hating on you, but they looking for a reason to believe. And once you perceive that in your mind, it's no problem to proceed with the things that you have in your mind and not continue to clash in a manner that's not beneficial toward your purpose. You feel me? Towards your purpose. So be careful as well. Don't be careful as not to do things in life. Be careful as to recognize why you must do certain things in life. Appreciate if y'all hit that like button, share the live, drop a comment, say what's up. Because this is my way of saying what's up to y'all. If you over here on TikTok, make sure you tap that screen for me. Tap that screen for me. There's certain things that people are not aware of. And they become more apparent. Now them people like, you know what? Appreciate that game you gave me. And now I can appreciate your existence a little bit more. I had to fight. This is the clash that we be experiencing when we don't understand this. I had to fight the majority of my friends growing up. Or I got into fights with the majority of my friends growing up. Or the other half, I had to fight for growing up. You feel me? It's the things that we went through that bonded us. Not necessarily the fact that we didn't go through nothing. Don't get me wrong. I used to think that too. Like, dang, you know what? I come in this world going through so many obstacles after obstacles to the point I just want somewhere where it's not so much change. But when you begin to understand how things work and the creative mode of things, you begin to see that it takes these changes in order for things to come into fruition. In order for things to come into fruition. And if you here for that, then you got to be willing to take the distance. If you here to see your dreams come true, if you here to see your goals come into life, then you got to be prepared for the distance that it's going to take. None of this stuff is just overnight. That's why it's called a plight. That's why it's called a process. But believe it or not, little baby, just like the pain we once felt from the perceived losses, you know, one day we woke up and like, darn, I just don't care that much no more. It don't hurt as much no more. This too, your mind will wrap itself around. Create corridors in the mind so that now when these things come around, when these so-called perceived obstacles come around, we ready to jump the hurdle. We ready to jump the hurdle. And it seems like we meet the hurdle. You feel me? Like, you ever seen those track runners that do the hurdles, and it seems like every time they get to the hurdle, it's like they don't even break stride. It's like they got a rhythm to it because they're expecting the hurdle. Imagine if you was a hurdler, and every time a hurdle come up, you just resentful of it. It's like, oh my God, another hurdle. What? You killing your own energy when you complain about the things that you gotta go through in order for you to gain a further clarity of yourself, to get to know you. Because that's what it's all about. But for us, we'd rather put the Pro Tools on everybody else to make their situation sound good. But I'm telling you right now, you could paint the picture to where, shoot, even you can be a masterpiece. You feel me? Be careful. Watch a master at work. You feel me? Understand. You should be bonded through the things that you go through together. Get that. Get that. Because that's the setup that we had to reverse in order to override the curse. We ain't going out like that. We ain't going out like that. When you understand that how our thoughts come into so-called inception, then you recognize that you're getting downloads or you're tapping in to an apparent energy that's around all of us. I appreciate y'all tapping in. Please share the live. Drop a comment, say what's up. Subscribe, you feel me? Follow me on TikTok. We tapping into the all-knowing energy, y'all. Getting back to that, you feel me? And you start to respect this all-knowing energy for what it's here for. You feel me? You start to respect it for what it's here for. To the point, you don't start getting so puffed up in yourself that you feel like, oh, woe is me that I got all these thoughts and y'all should be at my feet. No, you begin to be humbled. You begin to appreciate the grace that's around you, that is saw fit to reveal the messages of abundance to you. So therefore, now you got the information of abundance. Therefore, you can have abundant what? Abundant life. Come on now. I ain't trying to tell you to see it how I see it, but look. See it right, though. See it right, though. If you always been seeing life as the cup is half empty, try seeing it half full. Try it. Try it for one day. Then after you try it for one day, try it for 3 days. And after you try it for 3 days, try it for 7. After you try it for 7, go for 11. After you get 11, let's go for 15. After you hit 15, can we do 21? After you hit 21, can we do 26? I believe we can do this. Once you hit 26, let's get 4 more. Let's walk this thing down. Everybody say they big steppers, but when you gonna step up? We quick to step on somebody else, but when we gonna step up to the calling in us? When we gonna stop saying, you know, once I get this in order. Appreciate you, AC, for them roses. I appreciate that investment, you feel me, in yourself as I seek to invest in you as well. So let's grow on this investment, you feel me? Everybody keep talking about they steppers, y'all. But when we gonna step up, rather than always trying to cut somebody else down on their way to their goals in life, cut somebody else down at the height of their rise. That's what you keep seeing out here. Everybody talking about they stepping. That's what they stepping on. They stepping on other people's climb. But when you gonna step up and find out that it's a climb out here for you, but you gotta step into your greatness, and the only way it's gonna come into view is if you stop hating on other people. It's the only way. It's the only way. For a lot of us, we can't even fathom living life on the edge. You know, for a lot of us, living life on the edge is not, you know, having a paycheck to look forward to. You know what I'm saying? Not having a perceived mate just because. You know, some of us in relationships just because. Shout out to you, Shay, bro. Appreciate you coming through, love. Please share the live. Do what you do in the chat. You feel me? Turn it up. Some of us will just be glad to be in a relationship just because. And we use all the cheat codes of intimacy that we get in a relationship as to say that this is a worthy relationship. But once the facts is in, you begin to see like, darn, you ain't willing to, you know, be there when they're down. You was cool when we was in the up. But now that we on the down, where things ain't just so hot and fiery, but we got to take time to cultivate that energy to bring it back up. You're not willing to put the work in? Because for some of us, we must recognize when we meet people, that fire that you have with them is work that they cultivated themselves outside of you, from everything that they've been through. So now when that fire dies out, after y'all done had y'all honeymoon phase, it's time for y'all to cultivate that fire anew, based on the energy between the two. But if you can't cultivate that fire, then guess what you begin to find out? You begin to find out, was it really a fire to begin with? Was it all the makings of a fire, but somebody wasn't willing to provide the friction? And then withstand the friction long enough to cause the fire. See, for a lot of us, we see the sight of friction and we out. We flighting. I'm out. For a lot of us, we see this fight of friction and we start fighting each other. Fighting each other in the sense of downplaying each other, shaming each other. I'll never forget having to tell my daughter, like, you know what? I'm not fighting with your mama because I don't love her. You know, in a conversation, trading of, you know, words or whatever. I'm actually fighting to be here. And some people don't realize, is your intent in your relationship to continue the relationship, or are you looking for a reason not to? And if you're looking for a reason not to, I gotta tell you, let them reasons be the reasons you leave today. Act as though those reasons won't never change. Even if you make a mistake, you will learn from thinking in this way. And at some point, that thought process will have to change. But for a lot of us, we like to keep playing these games in our head. And as long as we keep playing these games in our head, we can suffice and excuse the things that we do to our own life. But I'm that friend that gonna say, if you feel like that's what you want to do, go ahead, friend. Because one way or another, you gonna find out what's in it for you. What's in it for you. For a lot of us, we so fearful of ourselves. You know, we go straight to the cheat code of, you know, intimacy. But we not intimate enough with ourselves to know what true intimacy with us is. So the fact that we think we ain't getting along with this person, no, they really reflecting certain things about you that you don't like. Oops. You attracted it? Even if it's things that you wouldn't do physically yourself, you had the thought, man, I'm gonna wind up with somebody that do this. For a lot of us, it's because all we seen in life is that. But that's why I encourage you to be objective. Open your mind to new perceptions. And when you do open your mind to these new perceptions, submerge yourself in its existence. in order for you to truly see the difference. For some of us, we just put a little bit on our tongue and then we like, I don't like how that tastes. I'm going to give y'all something. I'm finna try today for myself. Not try today. I'm going to do today. And I'm telling you to charge myself even more. When I feel that need to eat just because of my taste buds, I'm going to go brush my dirty teeth and get the taste out of my mouth. I know it might seem like that ain't how that work. You feel me? I get it. I get all that, my G. I get all that. But what I'm saying is, in the understanding of ritual, in the understanding of practice, us being habitual, natured beings, if I take it up on myself to do something different than my norm, then the magic begins to make a change in my life in the way that I want, uniquely. See what I'm saying? And another way that I can explain that is something I peeped in a movie recently. Like, I always try to figure out why we be doing weird stuff sometimes. Like, sometimes it seems like people do some weird stuff right before things take out for them. Like, you got some people out, they live weird lives. Like, they, well, I ain't gonna say, let me explain what I mean by weird. Opposite of the norm. Opposite of the norm. Simple as that. And for a lot of us, the opposite of the norm is doing what's best for you. So it's a lot of weird things going on. You feel me? I'm proud of you. But I'm saying that to say so you can understand why we are doing these things and why it seems like it's magical. You know what I'm saying? You got some people out here, they'll eat good, like take care of themselves consciously every day of the week. And then one day out the week, they'll eat something that seems like it's a sacrificial meal. Which is something I recently started doing. You feel me? Like within the past 2 or 3 years. But I give it to my ancestors. You know what I'm saying? And I know my ancestors live within me. This is my belief. It is so. You feel me? Because this is what I believe. Same thing for you. Whatever you believe, it is so. But in doing this, it might seem out the norm and weird to some people. But what I receive on the other side of my radical ritual or my radical practices or intentional motions towards something that I want to happen or something that I feel like is about to come into existence, sometimes you have to remove all the normalcy in order to see the abnormal, or in order for you to see the real reality of how this creative energy comes into being. You have to become the vibration of the thing you want to bring into being. So the freedom of your actions can lead to the freeing of the manifestations that you seek to bring into your life. Again, when it comes to, people are taking the shortcut of intimacy. You feel me? The shortcut of intimacy. Appreciate you, Shada Love. Appreciate you being here. Shout out to your family as well. The shortcut of intimacy, right? A lot of us don't realize that we are practicing such masculine tendencies. And I mean this in the utmost respect to masculine and feminine. Because what I mean by the whole masculine in this sense is the expression, the expressiveness, the need to feel the outgoingness of, using my gifts and talents to bring forth things into being. This is what I mean by masculine. For a lot of us, we don't recognize the feminine. And a lot of us, it comes by way of us seeking love and wanting to be loved. And even in the seeking of love, that's showing love to other people in order to receive it. You know what I'm saying? So that's the understanding that we got to get from that. So for a lot of us, we interchange on that. Meaning you would be balanced more than you're masculine, more than feminine. But a lot of us, we get so caught up in so-called gender that we don't see the intentions within us as well as our nature and natural tendencies. You feel me? Now, when it comes to being masculine, your intimate relationship isn't as important to you as your life goals. Just saying. When it comes to, men and women having an issue with, you know, him not taking as much importance to the things of the household. You feel me? It's like, okay, if we can get that understanding with each other, hey, look, now I'm the boss of the household. I take care of the majority of these things, and I just need you to assist me. Depending on who is more tending to care about the household. You feel me? It don't make you a lesser being in your relationship, whichever one of these that you reflect. But it's having that understanding and healthy appreciation of both of these energies that's going to allow for y'all to affect each other in the best ways possible. Balanced, you're not distracted by anyone. You know what I'm saying? We already talked about the feminine, you seeking to be loved. So, you know, for the most part, let's not get it twisted. Women is like 7 to 11 times. I like that 7-11, but it's facts though. 7 to 11 times stronger than men when it comes to sexual things. You feel me? And when we pay attention to sexual energy, and when we pay attention to how things have been before now, meaning the status quo, the understanding of life up until now, versus what we talking about right now, it's always been an understanding as though, you know, men played a heavier role. So you're going to have an understanding of masculinity being, you know, expressed more so than feminine. But let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted. It's just the characteristics that's been associated. So you may have a woman that's more masculine than her partner, and then these roles need to interchange. But it's not for the dominant society or the rest of society to say that that's not right or that's wrong. You feel me? It's all about the energies within the relationship. And this conversation is really expressed heavily between, you know, our brothers and sisters of an alternative lifestyle when they talk about top and bottoms. So, like, obviously they understand the energy dynamics. But when it comes to heterosexuals, we kind of confused on it because we're, you know what I'm saying, having to deal with the balancing out of the over-exaggeration of one energy over the other. Only to, you know, try to the over-exaggeration was to try to bring a so-called balance. You know, it's almost like it was a jealousy of the power or the prowess nature of the woman when it comes to seductiveness. You feel me? I don't understand, but I ain't with it, my friend. But this is also a part of evolution for a man to come into being to feel like this, to feel like I do. Now look, life is full of tussle. Play while giving your gifts. Spend an hour a day doing what you love, doing while you wait on your finances. That's going back into what we was talking about earlier with a lot of people thinking like, I need to wait on this in order for me to do certain things. Here we go. You feel me? Instead of waiting, take this time and go on and do it. Do it, spend an hour a day doing something towards your overall goal that don't require so-called money if that's your hold-up. Now, you might come to find out this ain't really what you're supposed to be doing. A lot of us develop these lofty or over-exaggerated goals just to excuse ourselves from doing anything. But I'm encouraging you to take an hour a day and work towards your goal or your perceived goal. Next time you feel like changing your partner because they doing something that frustrates you or upsets you, take this time to take a deep breath and go out your way to show love and compassion to them. Embrace them. You feel me? Shoot. They want to scream with them for the hell of it. But don't get caught up in, you know, being overwhelmed with passion to the point y'all passions get played against each other. Be the balance, but allow for these desires to be expressed. As the feminine can come off very, I would say, in my understanding, I call it very intuitive. But the intuition of the feminine I mean, intuition in general to those who aren't tapped in seems all over the place. So we have to learn to embrace that and learn to have a healthy understanding of it, because that's life in general. Life has a whole bunch of unforeseen or perceived obstacles that we have to learn to adapt to. You feel me? Same thing with the feminine energy. Same thing. Like, okay, say for instance, it's your old lady acting like that. Touch her. You know, give her a loving embrace. Tell her that you love her. Even if it's while she's yelling, but you can't feed into the negativity. You have to be the strength when she's feeling weak. When she's out of control, you have to be disciplined. And that goes vice versa. Because again, we talking about energies. We're not necessarily talking about gender. If he's out of control, you have to be the so-called perceived masculine. You have to embrace him. Be the balance. Thank you, sis. Be the balance. Practice mudras. Spend the time focusing on your mudra. Spend at least 5 minutes. Turn a timer on. 5-minute timer on your phone. While this person may be talking, going off, whatever. But you strike that pose. Stand in your power. I know all of these things saying like, what? Stand in my power. Stand in your power. If you want the energies to be on your side, I don't know about y'all. I used to watch cartoons as well as movies as a kid when they was talking about having the energies of righteousness on your side, having the power of the gods on your side. You must put yourself in position to be a conduit to these energies. When you find yourself in a position that you feel like, you know what, I'm about to go to war with good and evil. And again, this is on a spiritual level. This is on a spiritual level. So if you constantly thinking about the physical, you're not getting it. But I need you to stop thinking so hard and just let the feeling come. Because this is about regaining the feeling. Feel what you want to give most as a gift. Each moment waiting is a moment wasting. By being complacent, the longer you wait, you ruin your clarity of purpose. You ruin your clarity of purpose or even belief in yourself. So if you wonder why you have a hard time completing things, it's because it's just this. You feel me? That's facts. I make sure y'all reading these beautiful comments in the chat, because the truth, like, that's how it works. That's how it works. The truth go from heart to heart. You feel me? To the point everybody begins to speak the truth. And that's the beauty of these conversations. That's the beauty of these conversations. That's why I don't patronize y'all. Why live a life on the limb? Why would I live a life out on the limb? Why do I choose to be in the darkness of life? You know, the unknown. Why? Because I feel like it's only at this point is no holding back. It's so freeing. You feel me? It's so freeing living with the fact that I got my feelings hurt. Because I put everything out there. And being able to learn from what I'm feeling. The freedom to feel love and give love unconditionally. This is real freedom. This is real freedom. When you say, how do we download information or how do we download info? We naturally absorb information. Remember the faculties of the mind. Some people will have you think that the mind just wax cold, you feel me? It just smooths out. Yeah, it can get that way if you create those tendencies within yourself. But here at Black's Rehab, we have a lot of remedies for that. A lot of practices. Come back daily. Let's have these conversations and watch how the dendrites open up in your mind. They just waiting on you to come down the block. You would think the mind got smart lights in it. You feel me? If you don't come down that street, ain't no lights coming on. You feel me? The electricity is not fire. I'm just saying. We talking about how in order to activate your magic, you must step out of normalcy. Whatever you have been doing, you got to get over that. You got to get over that. Even if you feel like, okay, this is right, but you're going to have to add a twist to it, my G. You have to remix that thing. You feel me? If you been drinking tea, You feel me? We're going to need you to add a plain tea. Okay, add a little honey, a little lemon. We're going to activate that gut. And at the same time, we're going to ask to become more sensitive to the things that's becoming of our guts, so we can become more keen to our intuition, to our own intuition. You feel me? We asking for signs and wonder why we can't read the signs. It's because we're not in tune with our star player, which is us. And these are the tunes that we play from our organs, our gut. You know what I'm saying? So when we get to tripping out women being perceived as all over the place, or the feminine energy being perceived as all over the place, it's because you don't understand how energy works. Energy is the unseen. And a lot of it is not understood until it's purposed. So that's the same thing with you in your life. You don't understand why you're going through certain things. You feel like you shouldn't keep going through certain things because you don't understand the purpose. Seek understanding, and you will see your purpose. Again, the highest effect we can have on each other is inspiration. When you know yourself, you can bloom, but you lose your sense of self-worth by comparison to others. You lose it. Sitting over there wondering why you ain't as far as Susie. Why you ain't as far off as Rico? Like, come on, G. Why? Because you ain't them, and they ain't you. But what's in you is great, too. So as much as you feel great about them and what they was able to do, okay, keep on feeling great about a sense of accomplishment. So when you have an opportunity, you will feel the need for the sense of accomplishment, and you will achieve what you believe about everybody else. And you will see that, hey, the greatness is in you too. You know, betrayed yourself this whole time, or portrayed yourself in a way that's leading to the existence that you've been saying, you know, I ain't been wanting. I don't like living like this. I don't feel comfortable. I feel like I could have did so much more in that last situation. You know why? Because you learning self-accountability. You learning to respond to your ability. And when you develop certain emotional intelligence, you like, life is so much better when you're thinking about what you can do to get better when life hands you adversity. Recalibrate and celebrate that you finna be better than you ever was. And you sure are better than you once was. Every day is a day of improvement. But you gotta have it on your mind though. So even if you are improving, if you don't have it on your mind, you can't appreciate it. With the transitions I've been making in life, I've been noticing scales falling off my eyes. Seeing certain things in life that I done been seeing the whole time, but it read different now. And it be like, darn, this was in our face the whole time. Wiping my eyes some days after I done realized, like, dang, you know what? After I just came to this revelation, I wake up the next day and it's like, oh, okay, let's get the rest of these scales off. Like, just saying, man. Just saying, the signs come if you ever wanted to know. But you have to become sensitive to the ways of the high vibration for you to get it. Because we get signs on the daily. But we look at that as something to complain about, because that's the vibration we on. To grow beyond experience or to know, don't wait. Feel everything. Love equitably. Give impeccably. Let go. Let go of things that people be like, what? I can never. Let it go, baby. It's going to be for your betterment anyway. What you holding on to it for? What you holding on to it for? You holding on to the fact, dang, I let such get over on me back in the day. Now guess what? Since that's your focus and that's your biggest energy that you, like, that's your fear. For a lot of us, the fear of getting done wrong is the biggest energy that we hold. We hold that much stronger than love, to the point you can't do nothing but keep on getting a repetition of that fear or that strongest emotion. We talking about energy. We talking about energy. All of these words, man, like I listened to this one dude, he made a recording where it seemed like he had like 8 phrases and they all sounded the same. Like waking me up, making me up, shaking me up, they breaking me up. And if we said all of that at the same time, you could look at all of them sentences as it keep on replaying and be like, darn, it sound like it's saying it this time. And it's based on your perception. Especially if I already give you options of perception. It's the same thing with life. We've been given so many options of perception that ain't to our benefit. And even if it's the simple as you didn't choose it, it's not based off your collective of experiences. So really now you locked in to somebody else's understanding of what you should be experiencing, and that's hell in itself. That's not freedom. That's the feeling you feeling. When you like, I want freedom. You want freedom to be you, but it ain't gonna happen with you looking outside of you. You gotta tap in. When you become unabashedly what? When you become unshameable in living your truth, then that's when your fire gonna be turned on. And that's when you will be turned on by the feminine, where you're dedicated to adoring this energy on earth and vice versa. Even that feminine energy you feel within yourself, you'll be able to adore that within yourself to the point you don't have to over-exaggerate it to prove it to nobody else. But yet and still, you'll be able to be gentle with those that you hold dear. Again, we done went to the plug. We done reversed the curse in the setup. We on the come up. We talking about the ways of continuing to go up. And you know what? I love you as myself, and it ain't nothing you can do about it, as we are one. And I'm so glad we in connection. Look here, kinfo. Let me see what they talking about. Let me see what they talking about. Pull up a chair. Come over here to the round table and we break it all down. Say why. We just broke bread right now. Peace within, peace out. Make sure you have a lovely day.